break records while we pushing the culture forward. Great music and big vibes right in that order. Intellectually petty radio on the stereo. Don't compare us to anything, this a different scenario. We break records while we pushing the culture forward. Great music and big vibes right in that order.
And you are now into another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio, brought to you by M3S3 Clothing, Men Make Moves and Suckers Stand Still, and photos by Van. And you know, man, I only do legends around here, and today is absolutely no exception. We got the stock guru himself, the almighty JT. How you doing, King?
I'm doing all right, brother. Appreciate you for having me on, man.
Oh man, come on, man! It's an honor to have you on, bro. I was talking about your richness before we started the show.
Some of the machines back there.
Oh my God, man! Pac-Man used to be. I remember when that came out. Literally, oh my God, that shit was. We used to have to actually walk to a whole other building.
Put some quarters in there.
Yeah,
you got them in the crib now. It's a different time, man.
Yo, and first and foremost, man, I want to offer my deepest condolences too on your loss, bro.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that means a lot.
Oh, no doubt, man. I've been there, so I know. How's life, man? How besides, outside of that, how's everything going?
Man, everything is smooth. Business is flowing. A lot of happy customers. Been getting out in the city more, doing a lot of good work locally. Just really been pushing lately.
Okay, that's what's up. Business. Let's talk about it, man. Fintech. What is that?
So Fintech is financial technology. So that's like an app or a website that helps people make money or manage money or things like that.
So you developed this website yourself?
Yeah, so myself, along with my team of developers, we developed a website. It's called Capital Flow, which is an options flow service. So what that means is it tracks trades in the stock market from hedge funds, institutions, multimillionaires, basically the traders that have, 7 and 8 figures to trade with. So it shows you what they're buying in real time. Then you can do what's called following the smart money, which is a strategy like it sounds. You just follow those guys and then you make money that way.
Okay, so, and like I was telling you, I'm pretty much a functioning idiot when it comes to stocks and options and all that. What's the difference between a stock and an option?
So a stock, that's like a long-term investment, right? So think of stocks as something that you hold for 5-10 years, right? It is a way to slowly get money over time. Think of options trading. That's like a quick flip. So that's like in and out. You might hold it for a few minutes. You might hold it for a day, a week. But the point of options is to just get amounts of money in a shorter amount of time. So it's more active and it's like a form of income, really.
And that sounds pretty risky, though.
It can be risky if you don't have a strategy or you don't have a plan. People treat it like the casino where they just come in and they just buy this, buy that, trying to get rich quick, right? But that's why I put together things like options flow, my options flow service, Capital Flow, so you can actually have a strategy. Because you think about it like this: the people that are trading with millions of dollars at a time, I don't care how much money you have, nobody wants to just throw away $5 million, right? Yeah. So if you put $5 million into a trade, something, you got some high conviction, it means you're really good. Same way at the casinos, you got the people that play slots and lose money, and then you got the high rollers that go to the blackjack tables or, $1 million hands. Those are the ones that actually know what they're doing. They got strategy, they got the plan in place. So I really wanted to give people that blueprint, so you can follow the most successful traders. Now, that doesn't mean they win every single time. They still lose, but they're going to win 80 to 90% of the time. So when you think about it like that, they're not worried about the 10 to 20% of the time when they're losing, and neither should you be if you're going to be following them.
Okay, so like back in the day, the stock market was Wall Street, bunch of white cats on the stock market, stock
Yep.
floor or whatever, doing trades personally. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but they got big ass machines that basically instead of somebody saying, "Hey, I want to buy X and Y and Z," they in a nanosecond they're buying millions of shares of, let's say, Chrysler. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
that correct?
That's right. That's called algorithm or algo trading, where it's basically, like you said, just a machine that's making trades for you based off of real time information that's moving so quick that computers can move faster than humans can think. Right. So the idea is the machine will be able to make the move before you have a chance to process the information and make the move yourself.
Is there something clicking in the background?
I don't think so.
Because I'm hearing this click, 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 click. I don't. I'm old. I hear shit sometimes, but I'm pretty sure of it that this time I was actually hearing some shit.
Might have been my chair, maybe. I see.
So, like, you're a young cat. Like,
Yeah.
how do you get into stocks?
So I was always a hustler from a young age. Like, whether it's like flipping candy or like reselling Jordans in middle school, high school. And then at 16, I took a personal finance class. It was required in my high school that you take it, I think, for like half a semester.
Really?
So yeah, yeah, and I know that's not something that is common for a lot of people, but and I went
No.
to I went to a public high school too. It wasn't like a private, it was like a private school or anything. So they had a personal finance class that was required, and for me, always being interested in money, when I got in that class, like I'm thinking, hustling, it was like flipping shoes, whatever. But then they started talking about stocks and real estate, and they didn't really like tell us how to do it. It just kind of introduced us to it. Like,
Okay.
that was my first introduction to stocks. And for me, that was all I really needed to get interested. I was like, this is hustling at another level. You know what I mean? So I started kind of doing some independent research from there when I was 16. And I really just kind of fell in love with the idea of making money that way, digitally. And then at 18, I started working a job at Domino's, so I was making some, consistent income. Um, and then I started putting that into the stock market, just in a Robinhood account, trying to make some moves, trying to make some flips. I had some wins, I had some losses, but
Wait a
then
minute. You said
eventually,
a Robin Hood account?
yeah. So Robinhood is an app where you can buy stocks and options.
Okay.
Yeah, so I took some losses, had some wins, but I really just kind of use it as a learning experience to get me to a point where I could really be consistent with it. You know what I mean? Um, so then I actually started making really good money, started making more money than I was at the job. So I ended up leaving my job. Um, and then ever since then, I've just been really trading and kind of growing businesses around trading full time.
So, okay, when was the first like real like yeah I really made some fucking money this time?
I took $1,000 and flipped that into $10,000 in less
Ooh,
than a month. And then
ooh.
that's when I was like, yo, this is real. Like, this is possible. At that point, I really didn't even have a full understanding on what I was doing.
Uh huh.
Like, I was still kind of just playing around. But I was like, yo, if I can make this kind of money just playing around, like, if I really lock in and take this seriously, I'm going to end up getting rich. So that's what I did from there.
So when did you go to your parents and say, "Hey, I'm pretty good at this. Y'all want to make some money"?
It's funny, man. I was in college at the time. I was at a small school, just studying business. And I kept, I kind of showed them, I was telling them, like, I'm making good money in the stock market. And they were like, yeah, whatever. But then when I was really like making multiple five figures, I was telling them, like, look, I feel like I don't need to be in school anymore. Like, I got the stocks, I got businesses. I feel like, this is my passion. I can do this full time. And then, shout out to my parents because, they really kind of always supported me, even when they didn't really understand it fully. But, they just kind of told me, if that's what you want to do, that's what you can do. Just,
You showed them a check
basically,
too,
yeah,
though,
yeah, yeah. I showed them a check,
and
but at the I showed them a check, and then they was like, if it doesn't work out, it's on you,
right,
basically. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah. Well, you know what? It when you see your kids not listen to you, but it works. I've had that happen with my daughters.
Yeah.
They didn't do everything I thought they should do. Shit worked for them.
Right.
My roadmap is not, how my life mapped out is not how their life is gonna map out. And if they got a better plan, shit, put me up on game. I'm not, I'm not too old to learn some shit. When you get too old to learn something, you might as well just jump in the box.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
So, did you start teaching people, or you just said, "I'm gonna make my own money, develop my own thing, and I'm trying to be a billionaire"? Is that the goal?
So I did start teaching people. This was in late 2019. Like it was this month. It was November of 2019, so like 3 years ago, right? I had been sharing my wins on social media, just posting the money I was making in the stock market, just to kind of put it out there, just share what I was doing. And then people took a lot of interest in that. I was getting a lot of messages and DMs of like, "Yo, I want to do this. Like, how do I start? Can you help me? What do I need to do?" So I ended up making a community where I just wanted to help the people that were in my DMs that were asking for help. And
Okay.
at that time, I didn't really think it was going to become anything more than that. It was just a few handful of people, but then they started having results. They started getting good results. They were making money. So then they were telling their friends and posting on their social medias like, "Yo, this guy JT, I got in his community. I'm making bread with him now." So then it just kept growing really from word of mouth. So it just grew from there. So now that community, we've got about 1,000 people in there. We're in there every single day, trading stocks, talking about the market, giving different people different opportunities of how they can make money. So it's just a lot of people use it to make full-time income now too. So some people have been able to leave their 9 to 5s. Some people, they might not have left their 9 to 5, but they went from full-time to part-time. So instead of working 5 days a week, they might be working 2 to 3 days a week and just trading the rest of the days. So giving people a chance to get their time back.
So what's the lowest amount of money I can invest with you?
So the minimum that I say to start is going to be between $500 to $1,000 with
Okay.
options trading.
Okay.
And you can start with less. I've seen people start with $100, couple $100, and they flip that up and up to a few thousand. But if you're starting with only $100, your back is kind of against the wall because if you make one or two bad moves, that
It's a
hundred
wrap.
dollars is gone. Yeah, and then you're out the game. So you want to have a little bit of a bigger cushion just so you can have a little bit more breathing room when you get started.
So it's not like I send you the money. You tell me how to operate,
Right,
basically.
right, right. So I'm not investing or trading your money for you, right?
Okay.
You pay to get in the community, which is cheap. It's $30. It's $30 a month.
Okay.
So you pay $30 up front to get in the group, and then we have classes, right? So we teach you how to open up your brokerage account, how to deposit the money in there, know how to buy stocks, how to sell, things like that. And then we give you signals. So I basically will tell you these are the things that I'm buying right now. This is the reason why I'm buying it, why I believe it's going to go up. And then, we can all make money together from there.
I, so I'm curious, like, why wouldn't the group collectively put money together? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got 1,000 people. If 1,000 people put up $100, I don't know, what was that 10,000, 100,000, something like that. I don't know. But that's a nice chunk of money.
Yeah, so raising capital is something that we talked about doing. And for now, I'll say it's in the works.
And let
Something
me
like
see.
that is in the works.
Let me do my math because I don't want to seem too stupid. Right. So a
Hey,
hundred.
now I gotta bring out that calculator too sometimes.
Yeah, that's 100 bands. Yeah,
Right.
that's you know what I'm saying. Like it's like a there's a I live in Cleveland, and my
Okay.
homeboy is from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
There's a nice African community in the Cleveland area, and what they do is I forget what they call it, but they all put in some money every month, and then once a month, I mean, like they give a shitload of money to one person,
hmm
and they keep doing that until everybody's gotten they shitload of money. It could be the same thing.
So that works. They don't never have any issues.
No,
Well, they
no,
probably
bro.
don't just because of that community and how they operate.
and they work their ass off.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I know a cat that this motherfucker for 10 years worked 2 full-time jobs. Don't call
Right.
off, nothing. Like and that's how the whole community gets down because
Gotcha.
it's like a like the I don't know. I think they put in like $500 a month a piece or something like that, maybe 1,000. Whatever it is, it's like their mortgage. You know what I mean? To
Yeah, yeah,
them,
yeah.
it's a bill, so it's not even optional. And then
Okay.
like once a month, somebody out of that collective gets like I don't know if it's 30,000 or 50,000, something like that. But something where you could go start a business, buy a house, cash out on a car, whatever you want to do. You got a shitload of money for that month, and then you go back to the cycle.
So when it comes to raising capital, like I said, that's something I got in the works, but it's not something I'm doing with my community. Cause for one, it's online. You know what I mean? So people come in, it's the
Yeah,
internet. So
yeah,
people don't even use their real names. They could be another person, and if something happens, I don't even know how to track this person down. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So that's something I do like with people that I know that I have access to that I'm close with.
yeah. Because somebody's gonna run off on the plug,
Yeah, exactly. And then it's nothing you can do about it.
or they're gonna be looking at you.
Yeah, yeah, and then it's my fault. So
Yeah,
I can't be responsible for that.
yeah. I feel you like that. So what happened? Like, okay, say somebody loses. Like, how do you deal with that?
So the thing that we always remind people, right? There are going to be losses, but we use strategies that have 80 to 90% win rates. So you know what I mean. When you do take a loss, it's not the end of the world. You know that when you have a strategy with that high of a win rate, there's a high probability that the next trade that you take is going to hit. So there are losses, and even when we take losses, people don't panic, people don't freak out, especially ones that have been with us for a while because they know usually after a loss, that means the next one's going to hit. So we just keep firing with that high win rate, that high accuracy rate.
So how many people do you have in your company that work for you?
I have, well, technically six people that's working for me.
Really?
Yeah.
And how old are
Between
you? You don't
between
mind me
both of my
asking.
businesses. I'm 22.
Wow. So, what's the projection for the next 5 years for you,
You mean as far as
as far as your businesses are concerned? Are you projecting to double what you're doing now, triple what you're doing now? Are you cool with where you at?
right
I don't
now,
see that.
man?
I don't see you being cool with anything.
No, man. I'm aggressive, man. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to grow every day, man. Cause I'm young. It's like, what else I'm gonna do? Like, you know what I mean? So, but right now, I'm really focused on growing in the fintech space that I'm in, that financial technology space. I want to grow my own fintech business, of course. But another thing I really want to start doing, and one of my goals over the next few years, is to start investing in other people's fintech ideas. Because since I came into this space, one thing I realized there are a lot of young black people just like myself that I call geniuses, people that I call geniuses. They have really amazing ideas for businesses and companies. But when it comes to fintech, it costs to put that together. And it can be pretty expensive. It can be up to, a few couple six figures, whatever. So most of these people, they just have these ideas, but they can't bring them to life because they don't have money. So I want to be able to come and fund some of these people's ideas and just help them get to that point of idea to execution in a shorter amount of time. And then I know me being able to give them funds is going to make the workload a lot easier because for me, I was blessed enough to be in a position where I could put in my own money to start my fintech company. I didn't have to get any investors, but I know that when you're working on building it and you're putting your own money up, that can be a lot of work. It could be a lot of stress. It's just more to deal with. So taking at least one of those things off people's plate lets me know that they're going to get the job done probably even quicker and maybe at a higher level than I did myself.
So how do you know? How do you decide who you're gonna use to build the program? Like, how do you know this person is legit or not?
You really just gotta check out their history, what they've done in the past. Do they have experience in fintech space, working at fintech companies? Have they built their own before? Did they go to school for this type of thing? What is their back? Have they been in this industry? Like for myself with options trading, if someone wants to make a options trading fintech, have they been in that industry for at least a few years before?
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
Have you had to fire anybody?
I have. I have, and it. The first time you fire somebody, it feels weird because it's like you don't want to do it, because you know that the whole trajectory of that person's life
It's
is
about to
gonna
change.
change. Yeah,
Yeah.
but now I realize, man, I'm quick to fire. I used to be slow to fire, and that was a mistake. I'm quick to fire now. I got over that. I had to get over that because the people that you hire for your company, they're gonna do one or two things. They're either gonna make your life a lot easier or they're gonna make your life a lot worse, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
they're in there and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, they're dragging the company down, it's going to affect more people because now there's so many people involved in my businesses to where one person is not carrying their weight. They're dragging down, now it's over 1,000 people involved. You know what I mean? So I'm quick to cut one person off if it's going to benefit that 1,000.
Yo, and I'm sure you firing somebody older than you.
Yeah.
That's got to be. Oh my God, I cuss your ass out, man. I was so pissed. This motherfucker young enough to be my son, and he gonna fucking fire me? But most people fire themselves,
Yeah.
if we're being honest.
Yeah. Exactly.
And if they
Exactly.
look in the mirror, they know either I didn't understand how to do the job, or I was bullshitting.
Hmm.
One of the two. And hopefully you learn from that so that shit don't happen again. Because I've been fired before. That haven't happened often, but I ain't like that shit.
Yeah.
I don't.
But you probably looked in the mirror. You knew I was like, I did this to myself.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you call off 12 days in a row, they're gonna fire you.
You pretty much, yeah. You fired yourself for real.
Right. That's low key quit. See, I don't even look at that as being fired though.
That's quitting. Yeah, you
Yeah,
admitted
that's
quit.
quitting. That's strategically quitting.
Right.
And then the way they got things set up now, like in a lot of jobs, like I'm a nurse,
Okay.
and like they'll tell you, okay, well, if you don't give us 2 weeks notice, your salary will revert to minimum wage.
Hmm.
So they force people's hands to wait to a certain time. Oh, I got paid. I know once I get paid, if I stop working, call off these days, well, I don't really care about the minimum wage. So they
Exactly.
put themselves in a bad position by knowingly forcing people's hands to do shit they wouldn't otherwise do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I may give you the 2 weeks notice if you didn't come with this bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's an adversarial situation. So the fintech thing, like I'm still like, you simplified it. It's basically a program that watches other programs.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you sit down and you say, I want to do fintech, what's the first thing I need if I want to get my company going outside of the money?
You need a developer, and so there's a few options, right? So if you're an individual, you want to have a fintech company, you really got three different options, right? Either you might have some software development experience to where you can build it out yourself, right? You put it together, you make it, it looks good, right? Or maybe you're a beginner software developer, so you're not the best, but you kind of put something together and it might not look the best, might not be the cleanest, but you just put it out there. Or option number three is you can hire somebody or bring in, a team of developers that are experienced, that are real good, and you have them work on it together and they build out something that looks good. And it'll be it can be done a lot quicker that way versus you just trying to do everything on your
Okay.
own. Yeah,
Are there black developers out there?
there are. Yeah, my entire development team is black.
Are you serious?
Yeah, yep.
Yo, I didn't know that existed, bro.
Yeah, man, it's a blessing, man. The head, the crazy thing is the head of my development team. He actually came into my community around the time when I had first started it. And when he
Mm-hmm.
came in, he first hit me up. He was like, "Yo, man, I got a background in tech. He builds tech companies. That's what he's been doing for 10 plus years. So he was like,
Okay.
I build tech companies. If you ever have anything, any needs in that space, just kind of let me know." And then I ended up meeting up with him last year in March of 2021. I was out in Colorado, and he was out. I didn't even go out there to meet up with him. I just knew he was there, so I was like, let's link up. And
Mm-hmm.
then we just had a conversation, and the conversation became, how do we build on top of what's already been created and kind of take this thing to the next level. And that's kind of where the idea for the company came from.
So, do you have to like register with the Federal Trade Commission?
Yeah, so there's actually a lot of legal things that are involved, and to be honest, that's why it took. I'm not gonna say it took me a long time because I mean I'm 22 and I got it, so it took me
Right,
longer
bruh.
than I would have wanted to put it out, just because I not wanted, I needed to make sure all the regulations and all the legal was taken care of. So I had to
So how
build.
how did you find that part out though? Like, how do you find out what laws you need to follow and what what hoops you need to jump through?
We actually we put together a legal team. So we got a team, a couple lawyers, and they kind of walked us through the process. I don't really, when it comes to that legal stuff, I don't really play around with that myself. That's something I hire a lawyer for because
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to be on the wrong side of the law when it comes to any type of business, anything in life. You know what I mean? So I'm always make sure that I got some lawyers there that can help me with that stuff.
Yo, that's fucking crazy, bro. It's up like the most people wouldn't have the wherewithal to realize, okay, yeah, there's certain shit I got. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that would be the part that would really catch a lot of motherfuckers.
Exactly, man. Just not having that legal shit in order is it can ruin your business. It can ruin everything that you built. And I've seen it happen. A couple times. Just kind of observing people that do what I do or do what I aspire to do.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pay attention to not just what they did right, but what they did wrong. And I've seen a few times, that legal stuff is something that people did wrong and it ended up messing them up. So that's something I'm big on.
So what other type of tech companies are you said you want to invest in, but what are you interested in? Anything in particular?
As far as
Like maybe a video game company or maybe I don't know whatever the next thing is.
so I don't want to say too much because I talked to some people with ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and I told them, when the time comes, if it's still an option, I want to invest in your ideas. But they're
Okay.
not my ideas to say, you know
Okay.
what I
I
mean?
feel
So
what you're
because
saying.
yeah, you know what I mean. But
You don't want to
the
fuck over nobody's
yeah,
intellectual
yeah,
property.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I get you. Twitter is looking not looking good right now.
Nah, Twitter is crazy right now.
The
Twitter is
man's
crazy.
like he is running a clinic. How this motherfucker became a billionaire is some miracle.
Man, is crazy, man. Elon Musk is one of the craziest entrepreneurs, man, and that's why he got to that point because a lot of people don't know his first company or his first big company was not Tesla. He was one of the co-founders of PayPal, which is fintech, financial technology, right? So he was one of the
Really?
co.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait,
he
wait,
was
wait.
one.
PayPal is fintech?
Yeah, it's because it's money, it's technology, and it's money, so it's
Okay,
financial technology.
I got you.
So he was one of the co-founders of PayPal, and he sold his stake in PayPal for like $10 million, I think.
Mm-hmm.
10, 15 million. And then he ended up taking that entire 10, 15 million. And then he used that to build Tesla and SpaceX and all the other things that he's doing right now. And I say that's crazy because most people, you come up on $10 million, you're never going to work again, right? But it's crazy to take all that money and say I'm going to put all this into another idea, because then you're risking your retirement. Your family is good now. You got all this money, And for you to say, I'm gonna keep going and take it to another level, like that's just the type of crazy level of entrepreneurship that a lot of these billionaires are on.
I mean, you know what? And I've talked to a couple successful people about that, and it's the hustle that they're addicted to.
Exactly.
50 Cent had a good one about that. What was he saying? Like I made a lot of money, but it ain't the money. Like I can make a shitload of money on this deal. It ain't even about the money I make. Yeah, I want to be rich and I want to, I want to be a billionaire. But it's what's the next thing that I can conquer.
Yeah, man. It's like it's not retirement is never an option. It's never even a thought. It's always what's next, what I'm gonna do next, no matter what type of lick you come up on.
But that's a gift and a curse with this country too, though.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it should be something, like financially, it should be at some point something should be enough,
yeah.
and it's not.
It's yeah, it's not for a lot of people, and that is kind of an American thing, especially when you start looking at other countries and how they operate. It's definitely a hustle culture here in America,
Yeah.
like that hustle till you die type of thing.
What's the dopest thing money's allowed you to do?
Man, I think traveling is probably one of my top things. I come from a small town, just like not really even on the map. You know what I mean? So just being able to travel on my own dollar, and the people that I've been able to meet from traveling have ended up becoming some of the people that I've learned the most lessons from, people that I've made the most money with. Like I said, just going out to Colorado, being able to meet who ended up becoming the head of my development team. Like things like that is just it's opened up so many doors for me. And
Where
then
you
of
from?
course, I'm from a town you ain't never heard of it. It's called Lynchburg, Virginia. It's
I've
real
actually,
small.
I think I've heard of Lynchburg,
You heard of
Virginia.
you might have heard of it actually because we're kind of starting to get a little more notoriety, but it's still a small town right there in the middle of VA.
Yeah, I've heard of that, man. Um, you got siblings?
Yeah, I got one sister.
Just curious because it doesn't it just you kind of got that only kid vibe.
Nah, I got a sister, man. I'm real close with my sister. I was actually supposed to call her before I got on this, but I ended up. I'm gonna call her after. Man.
Please do. I don't want
Yeah,
your
I'm gonna
sister
call.
mad at
Yeah,
me.
nah. Look, I'm gonna call her after.
So is she involved with what you're doing with fintech?
So she's in school right now. She's studying. She's actually getting her doctorate right now. So for me, I was never really a great student, and I'm not. I just didn't like school. I like to work. I like to hustle. When it comes to like building businesses and things like that, I can do that 24/7. But she's a real great student. She's real smart. Like she's a lot smarter than me. I say
That's not
so.
true. That's not true. And I'm gonna tell you why. First off, you putting yourself down. But secondly, your intelligence is just streamlined in another area.
Yeah, yeah. I put
You're
it like that.
22 and you don't have to work for anybody, bruh. Like that's probably 1% of the population that didn't come out the right legs. So don't ever devalue like what you bring to the table.
Yeah,
Your sister
facts,
is
facts,
smart in another lane.
facts.
You know, I'm just big on like we gotta
Yeah, that's real. Nah, that's real. That's real. That's real.
so
Appreciate that.
shout out to your sister, no
Yeah.
doubt, bro. You deserve that, and if nobody has told you today, bro, I'm proud of you.
Hey, appreciate that, bro.
Oh man, I tell that to
For
everybody,
sure.
man. We need to hear that and shit.
Yeah.
I'm just tripping on the fact that your whole team is black folks, man. In this type of industry, I didn't even know. First off, seeing you, it's how you get those people that the spam shits where I do what is that? What's the financial shit where they
The
spam you?
Forex.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Do people confuse you with that?
They do, man. Kind of if they're on the outside looking in, like just kind of hearing, oh, it's this 22-year old. He's doing this, doing like you might just kind of take that as, oh, that's a scam. But then I feel like once you really actually look into my story, you listen to some of these podcasts I'm doing, you look at my page because I'm transparent. You know what I mean about everything I'm doing. So once they actually kind of look into me more, they're like, oh, this is legit. It's not a scam. And one thing I say that I've always done is I've shared every step of my journey, even from day one.
Mm-hmm.
Before I was making, $10,000, 20,000 in the market, I was sharing when I was making $20 in a day. I was making $50 here, $100, and that's one of the reasons why people even hit me up to start a trading group. So you can literally go on my page and you can scroll back. It's gonna take a while because it's been some years and I kind of post a lot, but you can scroll back and see like where I was only making $20 in a day or $100 in a day to where I got to the point to make 1,000 in a day to 10,000 in a day. So I've always shared my process since 2018, 2019. I've been transparent about everything I got going on.
When do you stop telling people how much you're making?
Well, these days, I share what I make in the stock market every now and then just to kind of give credibility to what I'm doing because I can't
Uh-huh.
say I'm teaching you how to make money in stocks, but I'm not doing it myself. So I might share some of my stock wins. I don't talk about what my businesses make, my business
Okay, I
revenue,
got you.
because I feel like that ain't
That ain't
something that's gonna
safe.
help people. Yeah, that ain't safe, and it doesn't help people.
Yeah, it just brings the vultures.
Yeah, exactly.
And jeez, like, and your pops. What's the best advice he gave you?
Man, my pops gave me so much advice over the years, man. He was my hero growing up, man. I say the best thing he told me is, if it's something that I want to do,
Mhm.
don't go all the way. Don't half-ass it. Like when I told him I want to, quit working, quit school, and do my thing with business and finance. He told me like if you're gonna do this, you got to go all in. You can't be scared or trying to tiptoe. So that was one of the biggest pieces of advice that really made me go head first into this, industry, and it's been up since then.
And you could just tell, man, like just the impact he had on you.
Yeah,
And this, I lost my mom's a couple years ago,
I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
and man, like that she was my best friend, my homie, my mom's. Like we grew up together to an extent,
Hmm.
so I understand. I saw her physically hustle for years. Like she was a nurse too, and man, her and her best friend, I've never seen any two people like work their hand at how to make money like those two.
Yeah,
It's a
man,
gift.
it is, man. And I saw the same thing with my dad, man. He was a hustler, growing up. My entire teenage years, adult years, I saw him hustle. So it was definitely something that he put into me.
And it sounds like he was a structured individual too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And that goes back to the intelligence. There's a lot of brothers out there that ain't got no degree, that didn't even graduate from high school, that learned how to navigate the system flawlessly and made a shitload of bread doing it.
Because it's like, bro, in 2022, is different, man. And I'm not the type of person to say college is a scam because I actually went there for a little bit and I recognize some of the opportunities. I
Yeah,
do think most people are not there taking advantage of those opportunities. Most people are bullshitting, but there are opportunities there that you can take advantage of
yeah,
if you really want to make the most out of college. But at the same time, with the internet, that's opened things up to where there's opportunities on your phone, on your cell phone, on your laptop, $1 million opportunities, $1 million, education. Like you can learn how to make six figures from your phone, right? You can learn a skill like trading, like people doing drop shipping, starting your own business. Those are things you can learn just from the internet. So it's like it's no limit to what you can do. But the same with college, people aren't taking advantage of those opportunities. Most people that have internet are not taking advantage of those opportunities. They're using it to
yeah.
scroll through bullshit or whatever. But the opportunity is there if you want to take advantage of it.
I think the biggest opportunities at college are the person to person networking,
The networking, exactly.
and especially depending on what school you go to.
Yep.
And people don't take advantage of, let's say I want to be an accountant. They're
Hmm.
not in the accountant club. They're not, really getting out there. Okay, what other businesses will I be dealing with once I graduate from college? Let me go network with those cats. So when I get out there, I already got kind of like a web of people I can kind of go to, which will help me elevate my game and wherever I'm at, and vice versa with them. And we looking at
Exactly.
it like that. But then
It's
again, like we not taught that. Like in your
no.
class, your school, when you had the financial class, that's such a rare event. Like I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize how rare it was when I was in it. But I'm just glad that I didn't take it for granted. You know what I mean? That because, like I said, I was never really good at school. I was not a great student, not because I was dumb or anything. I just kind of bullshitted around in school. But when I took that personal finance class, all A's. Oh, I'm showing up on time. I'm doing all the work. I'm sitting in the front of the class. I never sat in the front of the class, but that class, like it resonated with me so much because I always like money. And when I say always, I mean like even if I was 6 years old, right, and on my birthday, my grandma might give me $5. Most kids want to go buy a toy or buy some candy. Like I'm putting that $5 in my dresser drawer, and it's just sitting there. I'm keeping it in there. Like I probably still, to be honest with you, I probably still got money from when I was 6 years old, which is crazy to think about because it's like I'm only 22 and I got money this 10, 15 years old, but like I just always had that in me. So that class really kind of just expanded where my mind was already at when thinking about money.
And everybody gets a gift. You just happen to tap into yours early as hell.
Yeah, yeah, and it's
There's,
it's, it's, it's a blessing, bro.
yeah, that is the blessing right there. Because there's somebody out there that can play their ass off in basketball,
Uh-huh.
but they didn't have somebody that would practice with them at 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever it took to get them to hone their skills.
Right.
I interviewed a cat, Lenny Cook.
Uh-huh.
He was the number one high school player in the country at one point. Never getting drafted
Yeah,
for that reason.
because he didn't have like somebody to put him on the path.
He didn't have someone to structure him.
Okay.
He was so talented so early that he was a meal ticket to most adults.
Right.
And when they're looking at you as a meal ticket, they neglect to cultivate the meal ticket.
Right. That makes sense. Damn. And it's sad, man, because it's so many stories like that. And like not even just athletes, just people, just naturally talented people in different areas. But you need that kind of that structure. And a lot of
Yeah.
times you need somebody to give that to you, man. So I think that's something that we're missing. Um, and that's one of the reasons why I do what I do.
You should start. I see you starting a school for this shit at one point.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that too.
you know, and I think that would be such a benefit not only to yourself but to our people because we need this shit, man. We're
Yeah.
getting left
Yeah.
behind.
We are.
Like, how if the superintendent of Lynchburg, Virginia schools came to you and said, "What do I need to do to help the next generation of brothers and sisters be prepared?" What do you offer them?
So I would say like that personal finance class that I took, it really did a lot for me just because I was already interested in money, but it wasn't real in depth. It was half a semester and they kind of just introduced new things to you and didn't really talk about them. So I would say, expand on that. But instead of just like one personal finance class, you can have separate classes on different topics. Like you might have a stock class and then like a real estate class, a class about, credit, your credit score, things like that. Make them year-round classes and just go in depth on each topic the same way you would with like history or math.
Yo, the credit thing is a great idea too. Like it's got to be and help kids start to build their credit earlier.
Young, yeah, that's one of the things. Like all of this stuff. The younger you start, the better. But especially with that credit, man.
Man. And the crazy part is they'll let you borrow $100,000. They'll let you go $100,000 in debt at
For
18,
for, for college, yeah.
but they won't let you borrow money to start a business.
Nah, they won't let you borrow 10K to start a business, but you can go 100K for school.
They making everybody indentured servants
Exactly.
in a fancy ass way.
Yeah, it's just it's more steps. It's more steps.
Yeah, it just the whole the shit's rigged, man.
Yeah.
You have found the matrix, and you
Yeah,
seem to
man.
be bouncing around in that motherfucker, enjoying life.
Man, it's like what Nipsey said in that one song. He was like something like we ain't supposed to make it out, but every once in a while there's somebody that make it out the matrix. You know what I mean? So I feel
Yeah,
like, God blessed me and put me in a position to where, I can elevate beyond where a lot of my peers are at. And now, I do have a goal to get people to that point of financial literacy, financial freedom, because it's something that's needed, and I'm just trying to play my part.
yo, how do I sign up? Like, where do I go for the $35?
So you can go to my website, just go to thealmightyjt.com, and then I got a link to my community, which is for beginners, where we're teaching you how to trade, how to get involved in the stock market, things like that. And then it's also got a separate button that goes to my options flow service, my fintech company, which, like we talked about, is just shows you what those wealthiest traders in the stock market are buying in real time.
Yo, do you have anything you want to say to the people?
Man, nah, I just appreciate everyone for tuning in, man. I feel like, we kind of covered everything I wanted to say. Any listeners or anybody that wants to stay connected with me and what I'm doing, the best way is to follow me on Instagram. It's at the Almighty JT. I got it up here on the video.
Yo, you gotta there's another account.
Yeah, yeah. I got some fakes, man. It's like,
You made it, bruh.
yeah, I got a couple of fake. My only Instagram is at the Almighty JT. So if
And
you
check
see
the spelling,
one,
because I think
yeah,
it was
check
like
this.
two T's
Yeah,
in
if
one
you
of them.
see like an extra letter or underscore or whatever, it's not me.
Yeah, because I don't have fake accounts, bro.
I wish I did.
Well, you know what? But they're not gonna fake an account that's not doing anything.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I look at it like that too.
So like, and like I what's brother Ben X? The digital, what is it? What do you call it? Digital real estate. You familiar?
Yeah, I've seen some of his content before. I'm not familiar with the digital real estate.
Oh, you gotta check it out. Another lane for our people to
Okay,
really, and he's got a game that he's coming out with in the metaverse.
okay.
Yo, that shit looks. They really did their job on that one. It looks phenomenal, and it looks like shit. Sony put it together.
Yeah, yeah, I gotta check that out there.
And I think that's one thing I think we're missing is not well. I guess digital real estate would fall under fintech. Anything
Yeah,
that you make
yeah,
money.
you consider, yeah, yeah, you consider
Are there fintech what do you call those things where everybody comes together?
a like NFT. Is that what you're thinking of?
No, like say I've got a big ass I got a meeting hall in, let's say, Cleveland, Ohio. You
Oh,
know,
oh, like a conference.
like, I don't know why the fuck I couldn't think
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. One of the biggest ones was actually, I think it was like last week or the week before I wasn't able to make it, because my father had passed, but it was Afro Tech. It was Afro Tech, and I think it was either in Houston or Dallas. It was somewhere in Texas, but that was a big, black black tech fintech event.
Yo, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest ones that they do every year.
Yeah, I am obviously not following the right people or something like I don't know. And for if you are out there, make sure you please do follow me on Instagram, Intellectually Petty Radio. Just throwing that out there. I do need to play a commercial real quick. I forgot I got to pay a bill.
All right.
All right, give me 1 second. Stop trusting your cousin with your footage. If you need greatness, contact greatness at photosbyvan@gmail.com. Or you can get a brother a call at 1-862-500-1532. All right, my bad.
Nah, you good. Hey, get your money, man.
Yeah.
Get your money. You ain't got to apologize.
I gotta get my couple of those scraps over
Yeah,
here.
man.
We ain't making stacks, but we,
You ain't got to. You ain't got to say my bad to me.
I
I
like that in you, man. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. My birthday's in January. I think I'm gonna have to.
Mine
go.
is too.
January what?
11.
Mine is the 30th.
Okay.
Yeah, my nephew is actually the 10th.
Okay,
And,
so y'all, yeah.
This cat, man, I don't know. I think two. I think we call him two. He's
Two.
named after my brother.
Okay.
I want to say he's 11. He's either 10 or 11. This nigga is 37 when he talks, though. Like, this has got to be the most intelligent person. Like, I've never, and it's not just me.
Yeah.
Like, we all be marveled at the level of just. I might have to pay for him to get involved.
Hey, so who's that from? His dad?
Absolutely not.
You probably want to take the credit for that. That's you. That's Unc. That's Unc that gave him that.
Actually, my brother is he is really intelligent. He just it's not focused.
Yeah.
But he's like one of those people that should go on Jeopardy.
Yeah. They just kind of know a little bit about a lot.
Oh my! It knows just the randomly, just stupid
The
shit.
random knowledge, just random knowledge
Like,
that you ain't never gonna use.
Oh my god, he's the king of that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this kid is like I've driven him back and forth from Cleveland to Detroit because I'm from Detroit.
Right.
And the conversations we've had are like full-fledged adult-ass conversations, and I'm 50. And and he was taking this religion class one time in school. And like the questions he had were just the most mature shit. I definitely, I may have to get him involved in that. Either way, man, I'm gonna have to put a couple of dollars up. Like, let me ask you this. Okay, so I'm 50.
Okay.
And I want to retire, obviously, let's say in 10 years, not 15 years. Do you have like a plan for people in my situation?
Yeah, so, kind of similar to what I did is, once you get to the point where if you can get in the stock market and, it only takes two things. It takes a little bit of time and a little bit of money. So if you got a little time and a little money, you can get started. And then if you can get to the point where you start earning more money from the market than you're earning at your job for, consistently, I say really for, 6 months to a year. Because if you just have one good week or one good month, that doesn't really mean too much because you could have 2-3 more bad months after that. So you got to have some consistency. Mm-hmm. Then it makes sense to start to think about that transition from working to, becoming a full-time trader and earning your bread that way.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure something out, man. Because it's working for people. This shit is the birds.
Hey, look, man, trading is one of my favorite skills because you don't have to talk to anybody, you don't have to post on social media, you don't have to drive in traffic in the car, you don't even have to leave your own bed if you don't want to. That's really one of the reasons why I like trading because I'm a hustler, but I call myself a lazy hustler. You know what I mean? Like I could have been good at anything. I could have been good at real estate or e-commerce, but I just went with stock because I was like, if I can make $10,000 flipping a house or $10,000 flipping stocks from the bed, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna lay in the bed and make my bread that way.
Right. You ain't got to convince nobody of no shit.
No,
You ain't got to feel bad that, oh man, I sold him this house. I knew that shit was fucked up, but I only had $10,000. You know,
exactly,
because there's just
exactly.
motherfuckers out there that's selling people lemons,
Yeah, yeah, and they know it too.
and they know it, and they
They
go
know
home
it.
to sleep like babies.
Yep.
You know, oh, we ain't gonna talk about the car salesman. They will
Oh
sell
my
you
god.
a
Oh
piece
my
of
god.
shit
Oh my god. They will get over on you
and
if you
laugh
let
at
them
your ass. Not only be happy about it, they will then go back and talk about you.
and
Man,
laugh at you, man, and
oh
clown
man,
you.
yeah, yeah, I sold him that car. Oh my god, and it's a pool of money somewhere they betting that somebody
Hmm.
couldn't sell this piece of shit car. Well, Bob sold that piece of shit car to a family of 8.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy what they doing.
Yo, I want to thank you though, man. This has been a really informative conversation, man. I definitely appreciate it too. And please, I wrote it down, but do me a favor, inbox me the website.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. I'm sending it to
Yeah,
you right after this.
yeah. So I do have $35, bro. I think I can get into the group. I think I
Okay.
can make
Yeah,
it.
yeah. We'll
Yeah,
get you in. We'll get you right, man.
yeah. I'm gonna have to go talk to the boss. You know, get some finances loosened up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been wanting to do something different and wanting to kind of tackle. You know, trying to get outside my comfort zone monetarily, so we can see what we can do to bring something in.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, we'll get you
You
right,
know,
man. For
you
sure.
22 and you got video games behind you. You doing something right. Yeah,
That's
I'm
my
just starstruck by that shit, man.
man. I had so much fun playing these games, man. People my age, they call me crazy because sometimes it's days I'd rather play these and like play on the Xbox. But I'm like, yo, I just love these things for some reason. I don't know.
See, I was a defender. There's a Galaxy game, and then Defender. That was just my shit. But Pac-Man was Mrs. Pac-Man was actually for me. Was
Yeah.
yeah. Street Fighter. I never was too good at the fighting games ever.
Oh man, I love Street Fighter. I love both of them, man. And it's just a lot. I don't know what it is, man, because it ain't like when I was a kid, I always just wanted to have these, and I asked my mom if I could get some arcade machines. She'd tell me no, no, no. So when I moved out the house, these were really one of the first things I bought. These before I bought my mattress when I moved out the house, just because this is what I always wanted growing up. This is the first thing I bought as soon as I moved out my mama house.
Yo, that's dope though, man. Man, my first apartment, man. Like I literally just had a blanket, and my mother gave me one dish of everything. I had one plate, one bowl, one fork, one spoon. Like, I didn't even have
Hey,
enough to have nobody over.
nah, you was living on your own for real.
Yo, life was good though.
Yeah.
You know, I
Oh, you
remember
probably didn't have no complaints either.
I didn't, and I remember the first like I put my mother out my apartment. Oh my god, that felt so good. Oh my god.
What
And
did you say?
my mother got a kick out of it too, man. But my mother, like at the time, I didn't smoke, and my mother
Okay.
smoked. And she came over. I'm like, Mom, you know you can't smoke in my crib. I'm your mother. I do what the fuck I want to do. I'm like, Mom, you got to get out. She's like, what?
You kicking me out?
That's literally what she said. I said, yeah,
Yeah, I know
you
it.
got to
I know
go.
it.
She stayed right around the block, man. So it wasn't like
Yeah, yeah,
it was no big deal.
yeah.
But it
That's
was a
funny.
big deal for me because it was my shit.
That's what I'm saying. It's your shit. You control what you want going on in your shit, man.
Right, man. It was either
Yeah.
that or she wants had to wash the dishes. One of the two.
Wash the dish.
Absolutely. Oh shit. On that note, bruh, I appreciate you so much, man. If there's anything I can possibly do for you, I'm not sure what, but if there is, bruh, let me know, and I got you.
Yeah, yeah. Appreciate you for having me on, man. We
Oh, no
definitely gonna
doubt,
stay
man.
in touch.
Absolutely. Please do, man. Don't forget, email, inbox me that. And on that note,
Yeah.
man, we out. Have a good one,
All
man.
right. Yeah, man. Peace, bro.
Peace. Yo, just absolutely beautiful conversation, man. And I hope that you learned something because I definitely did. Doesn't take much for me to learn shit though. However, man, yo, look up Fintech, man. Get involved, get active. Our people are being left behind, especially with technology. And man, it is like you said, you can make 10 bands from your bed. Find something you like to do. If not that, whatever you like to do, man, find a way to make some money doing it. On that note, man, I'm Jobs. I am your host of Intellectually Petty Radio, and I'm out. Y'all have a good one.